Well, howdy there. It is me, Captain Aryes, and I wanted to talk about Hooty! My cats looked at me really weird. I wanted to talk about Hooty from The Owl House, because we have our new Season 2 that's come out. Well, at least the first 3 episodes or so. I wanted to talk about how Hooty's character has become more solidified and how it's changed, and why I think it's changed. Now, for some reason, in the depths of night when I should have been sleeping, apparently I just decided to figure out the workings of the Hooty and Lilith friendship and why it works. Darn my fandom brain. But I figured it out, I think. So, I wanted to talk about it. So, if you haven't seen the new season, there's a friendship between Lilith and Hooty. Now, I won't talk super specific into the friendship between Hooty and Lilith, but know that there's a friendship there, so you can still watch. Sorry, my cats are fighting. What are you doing? She's stalking him. Okay. But what I find really interesting about Hooty and Lilith and how they combine as a friendship has me wondering about why was Hooty seen just as annoying in the first season, when in the second season he doesn't seem to be annoying at all? Now, and I may mean just annoying to the other characters, but why does Hooty work better when he's with Lilith compared to when he's by himself? Let's delve into that just a little bit. But when you think about Season 1 Hooty, you think about many of the things that happened between other characters with Hooty, because Hooty usually only did something with other characters, usually showing off how annoying he was, or being there for comedy relief, being his bird tube self. And so when we saw Hooty a lot of the time, he was used as comic relief. But we didn't really know his character in a way. I felt there was a lot of vagueness to his character, and it really just felt shallow. But I figured out why it works so well. So in the first season, we noticed that every main character doesn't really appreciate Hooty as much as they should. Being that he's protector of the house. Even Ida at one point says, sometimes I regret it, but then I see him do all this cool stuff, like fighting off a bunch of Coven, the Emperor's Coven, people coming after them, including Lilith, fighting them off, and it showcases that she actually likes him and that he has not just a personality of being funny, but also a personality of him being a fighter. That's one of his traits, is that despite the fact that he is a bird tube thing that's apparently attached to the house in a very more atomical way, as we've recently seen, it makes sense why Lilith and Hooty work as much, and why his character has suddenly just fleshed out all of a sudden. It's because our main characters are King, Luce, and Ida. More characters are obviously big factors in this, like Luce's friends, Luce's girlfriend. Who knows for sure on that, but we all know that Luce is a little bi. Luce is bi, I think. Been confirmed, I'm pretty sure. And Amity is a lesbian. So, lesbians. So basically, there's a lot of other characters that matter, but the relationships that really matter to Hooty are King, Ida, and Luce. Now, what defines them as a group? What's the big difference between Lilith and these 3 characters? Bad girl coven. No, I'm serious. Bad girl coven rules. Ida was the leader of the bad girl coven, which means Ida, in general, has a rebellious state. She doesn't like following anybody. She doesn't like listening to other people. She likes to go her own way. Hooty, as a character, is, now that we see, is more a supportive character, but in the most literal sense of being a support foundation type of person. He is a person that supports someone, helps somebody, Now, these three particular characters like to do things on their own. They're very rash. They don't take directions well. They don't appreciate being being complimented. They don't appreciate it unless it's by someone they admire, type of thing. Which Ida, she doesn't like doing things by people's rules. Luce, she likes to prove herself by doing things that makes people who she wants to impressed with her. And King, him being mentally a king, he doesn't want to take advice from anybody, rules from anybody. He wants to do his own thing and has his own plans. And that's why he was so annoying to the other characters, because as a support character, Hooty, who is a supportive person, well, bird tube. As a supportive bird tube, Hooty doesn't really mix with bad girl coven vibes. He just doesn't. It's just the truth. Is he a good comedic relief? Absolutely. Absolutely. But when we see Lilith lost without her coven, lost without somebody to follow her / someone to appreciate her, Lilith as a character falls apart, as we see in the first episode of season 2. So if you haven't seen it, this is probably the part where I'll get a little bit spoilery, but you can probably still continue listening, is that there's a point where Lilith needs help. And Lilith finally gives in. You can kind of tell from her character that was going to happen at some point. That she needed to be broken down to really get into the bad girl coven vibes. So, when Lilith gets into the bad girl coven vibes, she's not really taking it well. She's an academic. That's understandable. Now, Hooty's a supportive character, and the reason why it works so much is he always wants to help people. He wants someone to accept his help. He wants somebody to appreciate him as much as he wants to be there for someone else. He just wants to be around someone. And the other three like to do their own thing, be away from everybody else in a lot of ways. But more importantly, they like to accomplish their own things. Lilith as a character is very reliant. She's always been reliant on other people her entire life. Even when she says she's not reliant on someone, she's always been technically reliant on some sort of communication with someone higher up than her, someone around her. She's always communicating with people, whereas Ida, Luce, and King, they're used to being weirdos, they're used to being outcasts, and used to doing their own thing. That's why when Lilith is at her needing support and foundation, Hooty's character finally comes into effect. That's why it's so interesting how this relationship of friendship is working, is because the two of them, you would think wouldn't make that good of a pairing, considering there's like a status type of thing you think with Lilith all the time. Constantly think there's some sort of status issue with Lilith and thinking someone's too below her, considering what we've seen of her. But when you break Lilith down, which she has been fallen from her highest position, when you break her down to the depths of who she is just someone who needs dependence on somebody else to make her own character shine. Through other people, she finds courage, the will to do things. Simple things like that. She finds the will to do things that she needs to do. And that's why Hooty himself has become a different character, in a sense. From him actually having a connection to another character, being so emotionally driven through mutual understanding, we see through the other episodes that we have that Hooty actually is very observant, which we know, but we also didn't think about as much because most of the observing that he's done of other people has been just people like action observing, like, oh, you're going here, oh, you're leaving, take me with you type of things. He hasn't really observed behaviors, and if he has, he obviously hasn't shown them in the show about how he takes care of those behaviors or how he interacts with those behaviors from Luce, Ida, King. But that's what's really nice, is that I think our bird tube is finally blossoming into a bird. What's the evolution of a tube? A bird present. A bird gift. Buddy, I want to say hi to the peoples. No, he wants to brush his hair. He wants to brush his hair against his little hairbrusher. You sure? Alright. Sorry. I love cats. I love my cat specifically too, but I love all cats. But that's just my analysis of it, is that the real difference about how Hooty's character has blossomed has just merely been the fact that he is a supportive character. At his core, he likes to help people, he likes to be around people, he is a social, supportive character. Luce is social, but she would rather be the supportive character, or she would rather be the lead or supportive character of someone else's journey rather than be the one who's helped, because she likes to do things on her own. As a person who grew up weird, I can relate. You want to do things by yourself, you want to prove yourself to people even though they're not around. You're always trying to prove yourself to somebody, and it's probably yourself, and you just give yourself an excuse. Whereas Ida's whole thing is bad girl coven. I don't listen to nobody. I created you. You're not even like a son to me. You're like more of a pet type of thing. So she probably feeds Hooty, I'm pretty sure. And then King's situation is, it's like a child. A child doesn't want to play with a supportive adult. Generally, they always go for the bad guy adults, or... That sounds weird. Generally, children like to follow more bad examples than good examples, because usually the bad examples get them rewards that are dangerous and fun. Usually, supportive adults either gain the trust of those characters, but generally don't gain the respect of those characters. You catch my drift. We all know that one character that is small, not as good as something that someone else is, and admires them super hardcore, but that person wants nothing to do with them. Jack Spicer and Chase Young would be an okay example of this. In a lot of ways, now that I think about it. But yeah. Hooty. Character blossoming because Lilith's core needs meet with Hooty's core characteristics. Bam. And it goes the opposite way, because Hooty needs attention and love. He's like a flower. He's like a little plant. He needs attention, love, a little bit of vitamin D from the sunlight. You know, he needs to grow and evolutionize. So I'm curious to see what will happen in terms of Hooty. Also, I just want to know what the hell Hooty is. Is he like attached to the whole fucking house? Is the house just like monster skin underneath the foundation? Like, is Hooty just the door and he just has a magic portal hole where his head is that he can just shoot out himself, kind of like Luffy from One Piece, just like rubber extendo until like for almost forever. You think it's like done, but it's not. I don't know. I really want to know that. But this has been my Hooty and Lilith's relationship analysis, as well as character development for Hooty. Peace out. Hope you guys enjoyed that. If you guys have a different opinion about why the relationship works, let me know in the comments. Like, I want to know. I want to answer these. I want to see how everyone else views it. If I just said something incorrect in the video, you can also say that too if you want. I like to know more specifics. It's been a little bit since I've watched regular Owl House Season 1, so I would like more information on that. Also, Episode 3. That was good stuff. Peace out, guys. Captain Aryes out.